Hello, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today, I titled this message, Coworker Manipulations That Are Used on Leadership. It may be rephrased, but I want to make it plain for some people because sometimes, simply put, they don't know that they're being played, okay? So there's these coworker manipulations. It's a power play in order to obtain leadership, get noticed, move somebody out the door, or some people are just bored at the workplace and have nothing better to do. So the coworker manipulations can happen if there's the lower level employee using various tactics to get the attention of the leadership or upper level management, or the person is using tactics with other co-workers and then eventually knocking them off. It's kind of like that music group that starts off and there's about 4, 5, 6 members, and then gradually the main singer, the lead singer, starts to knock every single one of those people off slowly but surely so that he or she can have a solo career, okay? We've seen this in various movies. We heard about this through the grapevine with former vocalists that were a part of various musical groups. So they're going to use the people around them to pretty much get what they want. This happens at the workplace more often than you think. And you don't suspect it because everybody's smiling, they're being professional, they just seem like they just get along. But for the one who is the manipulator, it's not about getting along. It's about getting what I want. It's about making more money, being noticed, as I said earlier. Some people have their share of mental issues at the workplace, and we got people who tend to overlook that. Well, as long as she shows up on time and she does a good job, I'm going to overlook the fact that she's very particular about her space, or she tends to be quite argumentative, or she's a gossip, or a backstabber, or she tends to steal people's lunches every now and again. But as long as she gets the job done. And some of these people should have been written up, fired a long time ago. A person shows you who they really are, especially under pressure. So if you don't see it yet, you just might when the pressure is on. That person who seems like they're relatively stable ends up being the one who's a nervous wreck, or tends to be the one that gravitates to the group only when he or she wants something, and that's to be coddled, to be praised. If he or she's not getting enough favorable attention, maybe they've got this long streak right now of just negativity after negativity, can't seem to get things right. That disgruntled worker is going to start to nitpick and find fault with those around them. All before, I like her, she's a good worker, absolutely enjoy being in this person's company. Yeah, that was in the early days when everything was still fresh. Now, because that person is getting the accolades, that person is receiving many compliments. Now, have you ever noticed she tends to, and then you fill in the blank. Some of you all, you've been guilty of doing this, and God sees what you're doing. You might play the leadership, you might play your co-workers and some other people, and slowly but surely you're on your way to getting what you want. But God, okay? Others, you're not doing this sort of thing, but people are doing it to you. Or it's that one troublemaking person that all before they were messing over there in departments, A, B, and C. And now they're over here messing with your department, okay? Everything was okay until she got the transfer, until she got promoted, until he ended up, um, you know, working with this group. Now we're hearing this and we're hearing that. So what are you going to do about it? You see, especially when it's happening to you, what are you going to do about it? There was an individual who said to me, fairly new employee, I asked her, well, did you ask the management about whatever it was that she was complaining about? She said no. I said, well, why wouldn't you at least ask them or mention it? She says, oh, no, I just don't want to start anything. I don't want to be a bother. Okay, but you're bothering your coworkers, though. You see, you got those. You got those who will say, oh, if you need any help, if you have any questions, and then you take them up on it, and then you find out that they're talking negatively about you behind your back. I thought I was just simply, taking you up on your offer. I didn't know that you were going to end up using whatever information that I give you to go back and tell people, she doesn't know this, or he has a hard time figuring this out. I mean, if that's what we're going to do, then no, thank you. I don't need your help. Okay. And I've had to say some things in a nice little way, since we're all giggles and all smiles, right? There's a lot said behind somebody who they smile in your face and talk behind your back. And some of you all, know what I'm talking about. Some things are not meant to be carried, right? It's not necessary to go back and tell every little itty bitty thing that somebody does when you know it's not that big of a deal. You see. But we got those individuals who, once again, they may not be doing as well as they should, or they may have showed their true colors, and so the favorable attitude, demeanor that people once had with them, not any longer. Oh, now I see why she didn't make it at her last job. Now I see why some people talk negatively about him in his last position. You see, and they know this. They know that people are starting to catch on to who they really are. So rather than just deal with the fact that maybe that position's not for them, maybe they're not very good at what they do like they once bragged during the interview, they rather start looking around and seeing who they can pick on. I know that sometimes this can be quite difficult for some people to grasp because, well, I don't want to be the one to make waves by going over there and talking with human resources or the area manager or the upper management or the regional or whoever it is that is over you. And, well, they tend to be good buddies. Well, that's the other thing, too, is that when you're in an establishment, you try to figure out who are the good buddies, the best friends, the folks who, tend to get along a little way too much, if you know what I mean. And there is such a thing, because there are going to be those times where people are not going to agree. There's going to be those times where there's going to be opposition. And those two that are so buddy-buddy, they will suffocate or oppress their emotions because they don't want to rock the boat. But then they'll look outside of their relationships, connections, friendships, and start nitpicking with other people looking for a common foe. Okay? There are some people, some tactics that they use, whether they know it or not, that some of you all need to be very mindful of, because they look like they're helpful when they're really not. Okay? And when you've heard through the grapevine, once again, that these people have a reputation of not getting along with others, or they tend to be very petty or what have you, then you definitely want to be on guard. One of the things that they're going to do is, especially when you first start working there, is they're going to be talkative, helpful, to a certain extent, though. Okay. And that certain extent, you'll know because they'll start talking about other people that they've helped, but they won't talk positively about them. Okay. they'll start to have these complaints. She's been here for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year. She's still asking me the same old questions. Does that sound like a helpful person to you? I don't care how many times they ran up and down the hallway for you. If they're complaining about past service that they've given to others, red flag, okay? Some folks, they need to come up with some type of leadership training or a refresher course on just workplace personalities and how to deal with them, especially those challenging ones. Because these people will blindside you, and the next thing you know, a place that you once enjoyed working, now you don't. Another thing that they're going to do is they're going to tell people various things about you, what the experience has been. Once again, it starts off positively. She is a great person. I like her. She's patient. She's understanding. She's better than the last person. Wait a minute. Red flag. Why is it necessary to bring about the last person's name? Okay. They may even do this to you, the new person, or you've been there for a while, but they're still talking about somebody who's been gone now for 2 months, 5 months, 9 months. Okay. Red flag. Because once again, you got people in this world who they don't mind bringing you a bone. Okay. But remember, they're going to also carry a bone too. Okay. So if you give them information, they're going to carry your information just as they brought you information and you thought it was so helpful, or you sat up there and you joked and you thought, oh, she won't talk about me. But she will. He will. Okay. Sooner rather than later for these manipulators. Okay. They will use you to get what they want. And how will they do that? They'll start off once again by being helpful. Then eventually the help turns into you owe me one. Maybe you can help me with this. Maybe you can help me with that. I don't work for you. Okay. I don't work in that department. I'm not familiar with that. That's beyond my expertise. I need to stay focused on what my managers have told me. And then, of course, depending on how you say it, especially if they have started to get on your nerves, now you're labeled as uncooperative. Oh, she tends to be a bit strict. She's irritating. She's rude. She's unprofessional. Whatever they want to label you, because they don't like the fact that they've been rejected and you're on to them. Okay. And you might have to give somebody the heads up, because once again, this is somebody who's going to carry information. All right. This is somebody who is manipulating anyone in his or her path, because what are they doing? They're looking for something. They're looking for something, whatever that might be. Compliments, power, more money, opportunity, whatever. Okay. Discredit other people so that they can push them out the door, especially when they know that those people are doing better than them. Okay. Manipulator goes to leadership or assistant leaders, supervisors, puts some information in his or her ear that's unfavorable, builds up a case, eventually wants that person to be viewed not as the great worker or very savvy or professional or quick learner or detail oriented or any of those positives, but rather lazy, procrastinator, ignorant, doesn't understand, slow learner, whatever picture they want to paint. Okay. When you see this playing out, once again, you want to nip it in the bud. You want to go to whoever is in your department and tell them, listen, this person, I don't know what the story is with them. They tend to be very petty, territorial, have an attitude problem, don't like the fact that I'm here, maybe a bit prejudiced, whatever it is that you notice. As soon as you see it, don't sleep on it, because it only grows. The jealousy grows, the resentment grows, the bitterness grows, the anger grows, the short-tempered, attitude grows. And sometimes it's not about you. It's really not. It's about the fact that they've been passed over. It's about the fact that they don't like the current leadership. They are frustrated because they don't make enough money. They should have They have their share of regrets because they should have bargained for a better deal. They settled. It's so much going on with some of these people that it's really not about you, but we can make it be about us because we're asking, what's wrong? Do you need some help? Did I say anything? Did I do anything that upset you? Things like that. And meanwhile, they are saying, well, the other day, maybe you really did. Or, no, it's really not about you. And I'm so sorry I took all, my anger out on you. It's really about this company. What have you considered on moving on? I've thought about it, and a lot of times people are just too lazy to look for another job. One lady admitted that. No, I just don't feel like it. No, I'll just make do. I've been here long enough. Yeah, but you're bringing other people down in the process. Okay. You can't go into any department or any office without something negative rolling off your tongue. Rather than just do your job, you've always got to have something to say that's offensive. Okay. Because once again, you don't like where you work. Some people, they lie to themselves. And in their lying, what they're doing is they're even manipulating themselves into thinking that they really want something that they really don't. They stay in organizations past their expiration date. They knew they should have quit 3 weeks ago, and they stay anyway. Meanwhile, they're causing havoc for the new people that are coming in. Okay. Especially temps. And I have done temp work over the years, and I will tell you that people will play games when they suspect that a temp is threatening in some kind of way, or they feel like somebody might be booted, and it might be a buddy or something. Well, you know what to do. Find some things that's wrong with the temp, go tell the boss this, that, and the other, and then that way you can save your job. Okay. And so when one is a contractor, you have to be on top of that sort of thing too, by letting them know, especially if you don't want the job. I'm not here to take anybody's job. I'm just here to do my job. Right? Now, if you want their job, then you know what to do. You flip the script on them real quick. But you don't let the left hand know what the right hand is doing. And some of you all, that's why you got your permanent spots, because you weren't playing those little games with these manipulators. Oh, okay. So if this is what you're going to do, then rather than bring a lie like what you're doing to me, I'm going to bring the truth. And the truth hurts. Right? Some of you all know what the proper protocol is, the chain of command, things of that sort, when you know that the manipulator is up to his or her dirty deeds. Some of the dirty deeds, adding on to what I've talked about, is the sweet talk. The sweet talk pretty much is just like an abuser or user. They sweet talk you into giving them information. They'll give you information, and then they will say things in such a way so that you'll start giving them information that will help them. There was one particular lady years ago who used to always come to my office with a story. And I caught on to her very quickly. She would come in with a story so that I would give her a story. One of the things you want to pay attention to is how friendly is this person who's always bringing you some information with everyone else. And if that person isn't marked, so to speak, they might be reasonable, a nice person. They're really not up to anything. They tend to get along with everybody. They may even say, I get along with everybody. I don't have any beef with anybody here. But if that person tends to have a reputation for being the gossip, the liar, tends to be aloof, only comes around when he or she needs something, once again, that's a red flag. Okay? When you're a leader and they have said to you over and over again about someone, And you know, as a leader, that whatever they keep bringing up is not that serious, but they're making it a big deal, or they're wanting you to do something. Okay. This is where I would reevaluate their position. I would find out exactly what the root issue is. It's not really about that thing that they keep talking about. It's really about them not liking that person, but they're going to come up with various things or a single thing. And if it's not causing problems for everybody else, then what is your issue with the person? You see. So, one of the things that is frustrating is when you are the one watching the story unfold and you're not heard. Okay? You're seeing that Jane Doe is manipulating a situation to get what he or she, or well, in this example, what she wants. And that's John Doe's position. And she has told other people, and that's the other thing. You can always interview other people in such a way where you say, has Jane Doe expressed interest in this position? Does she seem like she really wants this position? But the key is not to give Jane Doe, who has manipulated and used power and control tactics and everything else, the very thing that she wants. No, she needs to move to some other department, some other company, some other location. Because once you do that, Jane Doe's pride is going to go through the roof. Jane Doe's going to think that she can talk down to everyone. Jane Doe, who used power and control tactics to once again get what she wanted, she's going to use power and control tactics and play people that are under her in some way. Okay, these people don't change just because they finally got what they want. For many of them, they get worse. Or they may settle down for a while, but then they start looking at other positions. And it just might be the upper level management position, the very one that promoted them. Now they're like, this was good, but this isn't good enough. Now I want his job. Whatever it takes for some of these people, they're willing to do it. They're willing to plant information on people that is unfavorable. They're willing to take from people, use mind control tactics where I know I laid this right here. Where did it go? They're willing to snoop, as I've said in other audio about workplace related issues. Go through people's things. Find out what they can. Use it against them. They're willing to do whatever it takes to get what they want. Okay? Then, of course, we talked about the backbiting, right? We've got some liars. We've got some gossip that's happening in the workplace. Some people who feel threatened, resentful, bitter, may not be about you, but it could be about the establishment that they're working in. Should have left a long time ago. Okay? We've got those people who are just like abusers and users. They use controlling tactics. They are bullies, some of them. They like to talk down or talk aggressive or threaten to get rid of you. Okay? Who wants to stay under leadership like that? For some people, they should have put their resumes out a long time ago. Sometimes all of this opposition is rising up because there's something better around the corner for some of you all. And what better way to get you out of an organization is to make it so difficult for you that you're not going to want to keep going back to that position, going back to that workplace, because God got something greater for you somewhere else. Some people don't connect that. They think that all the opposition is rising up because, well, I want John Doe's position and I'm going to get it and I'm going to do this, that, and the other. But yeah, are you doing it in a fair way? If you got to fight in such a way where you turn into the manipulator yourself. That is not where you're supposed to be, because that's not the God that we serve. He doesn't turn us into manipulators to get what we want, to use power and control tactics to bring other people down, to sit on top of the world, so to speak, only for somebody else to turn around, watch what we did, and then come and snatch our position. Come on now, really? But you got people who are convinced that if they set up an art of war type of atmosphere, that they're going to win. But once again, what goes up does come down. Pride comes before a fall. Many people, once again, who've done manipulative things have been brought down low. Okay. Some of them never did get the money that they once had, and that's a curse in and of itself. They never get the money that they once made, because God has set them out, set them down, set them apart. Some of those people are homeless on the street who once were at the top of their game. Others have so many health ailments because they played people for so long, and then it caught up with them. They got played. Some people can't seem to be happy at any workplace. They're like that man that's in the desert. He's walking through the desert and he can't seem to get water, but he sees the mirage, right? These people, they're at these dry workplaces where there's nothing being produced, but they keep seeing this false image that one day, or listening to these false stories that one day things are going to get better. One day I'm going to see my water. Let me tell you, water comes, that type of water that fills your soul, that everlasting water comes from Jesus Christ himself. You cannot be a success in this life without a creator. And I'm not talking about that temporal success. I'm not talking about that happiness that comes and goes every now and again. I'm talking about you cannot be content in the depths of your soul. You might have all those other emotions that run through you here and there that aren't so great, but you cannot feel that deep satisfaction within your soul without a creator, the one who created you, the one that will give you water. Somebody needs to be fed with positivity. Somebody needs to be encouraged to go after the things that are fulfilling. Others, you don't need more hours. You need more time with your family. Others, you don't need more money. You got that. You don't need the house, the car. You got all of that. But what you don't have is peace in your soul. You got to keep going to a workplace, and it's another fight, and another fight, and you're burning yourself out. Some folks are talking their family's ears off over all of the negativity that goes on at the workplace. Some of you all, your job has dominated so much of your time, your attention, that you don't even have any energy left to come over and give your husband or your wife a hug, a kiss, and say that you love them. Some of you all, you don't have enough voice by the time you get home to talk because of all of the talking that you've done. Trying to persuade this one, trying to get this one to cooperate, trying to, for some of you all, the Lord is saying enough is enough. When are you going to let me in your life and give you the peace of mind that you need? Rekindle that love for work. Maybe not for that workplace. Maybe he's moving you somewhere else. But rekindle that love for work. Being appreciative. Being grateful that you even have a job. There's so many people that they have been cursed. They've been cursed to lay on the ground, to beg. They've been cursed to have to take so much off of so many people because of all the things they've done over the years. Is that what you want? Lift up your hands right now and say, Lord Jesus, that's not me. I don't want that. I don't want that now, in the future. I don't want that. I want to be at peace with my workplace. I want to be the one who is striving fairly, respectfully toward whatever position you have called me to, whatever location you want me to be in, Lord. Let my ears hear what you are saying, and not just hear, but do. Lord Jesus, put more love in my heart, more patience in my heart concerning my coworkers, the leadership, and others. Put your angels of protection all around me because of the enemies that I've made just by merely walking in a room, just by questioning some things. In Jesus' name, help us all. Help us all. God will do just that. Psalm 23 says, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall lack nothing. He maketh me lie down in green pastures, right? He restoreth my soul. Somebody's soul needs to be restored today. That's why your fight as a believer is so great at the workplace, because your job is energy draining. You got to have that time, that quiet time throughout the day where you can just breathe, right? Let some things go. Turn on some music that's very calming, soothing. Quiet is such a powerful, powerful tool to re-energize you. And there are so many other ways too. But quiet, going away. Even Jesus had to go away from the disciples for a while. You know, he took his share of naps. He went away and he prayed. Now, if Jesus had to do that, who are you? Well, that is it. Be encouraged this day. Please do check the description box for anything that might be of interest. You've been listening to YouTube NM Enterprise 7. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. And we do welcome giving on this channel. And thank you in advance. Blessings to you.